And good evening, everybody. Welcome to a little bit of a drizzly day here inside Falcon Park in Auburn, New York, as the Doubledays look to continue their winning ways as they take on the first place Elmira Pioneers in this PGCBL West matchup. Trevor Curl up here in the booth, staying dry for now as it is a nice 75 degrees and a little rain has just hit the area, and that will continue on for the next few minutes. Hopefully, within the next hour, we will be back to dry skies. But for right now, the turf is getting a little wet, getting a little moisture. And we are going to still have some baseball, it looks like it, as the Pioneers enter in the town, taking a loss in Geneva by a final score of 4-0. The Doubledays coming off a win versus the Syracuse Saltcats last night against an NYCBL opponent. The last time the Doubledays took on a PGCBL team, that was back on Wednesday, the 21st, a 7-5 loss in Newark. Well, the Doubledays are looking to continue their winning ways, though, in the PGCBL, as the last couple of games versus opponents, Doubledays getting their week started on the 18th, Father's Day, with a win in Newark. Monday versus the Cortland Crush NYCBL team took a walk-off win 3-2 in 8 innings, and then the Bats came alive in Geneva on Tuesday night, a 16-0 Doubledays victory, and then a loss on Wednesday the 21st. Our first game back in PGCBL contention, and that will stay the case for the next couple of days as the Elmira Pioneers tonight, a doubleheader versus the Niagara Power tomorrow, firework night as well, and then back on the road for the 25th against these very same Pioneers, then a day off in between the next set of games. Well, let's take a look at how the Doubledays will match up here at home as we take a look at their splits hitting inside Falcon Park, batting a team 254, with 44 hits, 12 doubles, 2 triples. They've scored 33 runs here this season and 6 stolen bases. Goes along with a nice little clip of a 374 on-base percentage, a 358 slugging, and a 732 OPS. Now for Geneva on the road, a little bit of a different story compared to being at home at Dunn Field for the Pioneers this season so far. 7-1 at home. However, on the road, they are a game below 500 at 3-4. The Doubledays inside Falcon Park currently 3-3. As we take a look at Geneva on the road, they've got the same exact average as the Doubledays at a 254, 52 hits, 7 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs. They have scored 29 runs on the road, stolen 15 bags, on base of 329, slugging 337, and a OPS of 666. Well, Doubledays currently sitting in 5th place of the West right now, 2.5 games back of the lead of both Elmira and Niagara. As we'll see the Power tomorrow, they're entering into this one at an 8-3 record. They might be playing tonight. We have to take a look at that. But for the game here tonight, the Elmira Pioneers sitting at 10-5 on the season so far. The Doubledays at 7-7. Well, lineup cards are being exchanged at home plate right now between the umpires and managers Andrew Drum and Ben Julian. Let's take a look at the starting lineup first for the visitors in the Elmira Pioneers, as announced by manager Andrew Drum. Leading things off will be the center fielder Matt Granado. Batting second will be the left fielder John Schroederer. Batting third will be the right fielder Cooper Smith. Batting fourth will be the designated hitter Frank Wayman. Batting fifth will be the second baseman Aiden Blake. Batting sixth will be the first baseman Joe Muzo. Batting seventh will be the extra hitter Jake Keller. Batting eighth will be the third baseman Ray Hernandez. Batting ninth will be the shortstop Blaze Fadio. And batting 10th, rounding off the order, the catcher Brody Bartenstein. And for the Doubledays, as announced by manager Ben Julian, very similar to what we've seen over the last couple of days. Harrison Campy from Watford College leading things off at short. Then Tommy Roldan, the Virginia commit, out in right field. Hazel Martinez from Union, he'll be the extra hitter tonight. From Georgia Southern, Bobby Stang, he'll be doing the catching in the 4th spot, batting 5th. The Pitt Johnstown first baseman Garrett Prosper, batting 6th. Will be the Georgia Southern center fielder, A.J. Wenrich, batting 7th. The designated hitter tonight from the left fielder from Southwestern, Christian Malillo, batting 8th. Will be the Charleston Southern D.H. Christian Bauman, batting 9th. Will be the third baseman from the University of Northern Colorado, Carson Gross, and batting 10th, rounding out the order, will be the Ithaca second baseman, Riley Brody. Well, we're going to get this evening started just a little bit early as announcements are being played over the public address announcing We are getting set for baseball here on another drizzly day here in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes. When we come back, we will have first pitch coming to you live from Falcon Park.
The Pioneers are coached by Andrew Drum, assisted by Eugene Barber and Brian Joey. Now let's meet the starting lineup for your Auburn Doubledays. Leading off shortstop, number 4, Harrison Campy. Batting second, right fielder, number 20, Tommy Roldan. Batting third, the extra hitter, number 29, Hazel Martinez. Batting fourth, catcher, number 30, Bobby Stang. Batting fifth, third baseman, number 16, Garrett Rusper. Batting sixth, center fielder, number 3, A.J. Wenrich. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 12, Tristan Melillo. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 28, Kristen Bowman. Batting ninth, third baseman, number 5, Carson Gross. Batting 10th, the second baseman, number 45, Riley Brody. The starting pitcher for the Doubledays is number 22, Jacob Daniluk. The Doubledays are managed by Ben Julian, assisted by Logan Matson and Steve LaRose. At this time, we ask all who are able to please stand under New York caps for our national anthem. Hey fans, to throw out the first pitch tonight, let's welcome on his 12th birthday, Keon Dorsey.
And the Doubledays have taken the field here inside Falcon Park, and let's take a look at how the Doubledays will line up defensively behind the starter, Jake Danila, going from left to right out in the outfield. Christian Melillo will be out in left field. A.J. Wenrich in center. Tommy Roldan out in right. Carson Gross over at third. Harrison Campy at short. Riley Barati over at second. Garrett Prosper will anchor the infield over at first base, and then the other half of the battery behind the plate will be Bobby Stang. Well, Jake Daniluk on the season so far, 0-1. He already pitched against these Elmira Pioneers. That was back in Elmira on June the 10th. Earlier this summer, the Pioneers ultimately won that one in extras, a final score of 3-2. Daniluk so far this year, 0-1, a 1.29 ERA. Started 3 games, has given up 9 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, 5 walks, 13 strikeouts. Opponents batting 184 on the summer so far on the Doubledays, a left-hander. Let's take another look again at that Elmira batting lineup as announced by manager Andrew Drum. Matt Granado will be getting the start in center field. John Schroeder out in left. Cooper Smith over in right. Frank Wayman will be doing the DHing. Aiden Blake will be playing second base. Joe Muzo over at first. Jake Keller over is the extra hitter tonight. Ray Hernandez will be the third baseman. Blaise Fadio at short, and Brody Bartenstein will be doing the catching. Doubledays in their home whites with a Doubleday scrawled across their chest, and the Pioneers are in their road blues with gray bottoms to match. And your umpires for tonight, down taking care of the bases, Jeff Wallace and Ray Bryant back again behind the plate calling balls and strikes. Well, we're just getting started just a couple of minutes earlier than we usually do. A 7:05 start time was slated. We have pushed this up just a hair ahead of the rain, as, well, it was inevitable to come in anyways. Jake Danieluk, the left-hander, ready on the mound, working from the third base side of the rubber as Matt Granado steps in to work out of the right-handed batter's box. He digs himself in, and the first pitch coming from Jake Danieluk is a breaking ball caught on the inside corner for a called first strike, and we are underway. Doubledays 1-1 on the season so far against these Pioneers. The first win was back at home around the opening weekend. That was June the 4th, an 18-8 game as a high fly ball tailing out to right field. Moving over on it down the line is Tommy Roldan. He puts the catch down, and there's a one away for Elmira here in the top half of the first inning. And that will bring up John Schroeder, a left fielder on the season so far, batting .244 with 10 hits, 3 of those being doubles and 1 of them being a triple. 11 strikeouts on the summer so far, and for Jake Danieluk, he's a strikeout artist, 13 so far, as a first pitch fastball catches the outside corner with a little arm side run for a called strike one. Third game of the summer so far against the Pioneers, 1-1 on the summer. 18-8 victory back at home, and then on the road was a 3-2 loss as a good slider catches the knees for a swinging strike two. Whole slate of games just getting wrapped up here for the weekend, as we have the game tonight versus Elmira, the doubleheader tomorrow versus Niagara, as the 0-2 pitch on the way in the dirt, stopped by Bobby Stang, the catcher, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Back in Elmira on Sunday the 25th before a day off, and then a couple of more sporadic days off leading into the end of June. Hard to believe we're already at the halfway point of the summer. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way in the dirt. Check swing. Does he go around? No, he does not, says Wallace, the field umpire. Dan looking at 2 balls, 2 strike count to begin the ball game. A.J. Wenrich starting to make his way from deeper center field, more shallow, giving Christian Baumann the night off on the defensive side, keeping his legs from getting too tired. As a high pop-up tailing out towards right field, Tommy Roldan calling off Riley Brody going out, and Roldan makes the second out of the ball game. Back-to-back flyouts for the Pioneers to begin things, and that will bring up Cooper Smith, the right fielder.
Now batting the right fielder, number 8, Cooper Smith.
Well, you look at the difference between home and away for the Pioneers. Very telling stats line, especially on the record-wise. You look at a 7-1 home record, and then on the road being a 3-4 as a first pitch fastball misses outside for ball 1, 1-0 on Cooper Smith, the right fielder. It's just a weird instance where guys go on the road, they just can't seem to click it. As a .214 average on the road, as a fastball catches the knees for a called strike. Count will even up at a ball and a strike apiece. 55 hits on the road, 14 extra base hits. All those are doubles. Scored 48 runs. As the pitch is sent on the ground, back to Danieluk. He's got it, sets his feet. Low throw to Garrett Prosper getting the start at first base. And the Pioneers are retired 1, 2, 3 in order. Doubledays will get their turn to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. Our score, the Pioneers 0, and the Doubledays coming up.
So please sit in the location indicated on your ticket. We thank you for your understanding and your cooperation.
And welcome back to Falcon Park as the Doubledays look to get their offense started right away. As let's take a look at the defensive lineup behind Connor Lutz, the starter for Elmira. Going from left to right, John Schroeder will be out in left field. Matt Granado in center. Cooper Smith out in right field. Ray Hernandez over at third base. Blaze Fadio at short. Aiden Blake, the second baseman. Joe Muzo over at first base. And Brody Bartenstein will be doing the catching. And for Lutz so far this season, 1-0 start to the year, an ERA of 0.54. Giving up 10 hits, 4 runs. Only one of those has been earned. Walked 12 and struck out 16 as the Doubledays will show their order like this. Harrison Campy will be leading things off. Tommy Roldan, Hazel Martinez, Bobby Stang, Carson Gross, and Riley Brody will round off the order. Harrison Campy leads in to the bottom half of the first inning for the Doubledays. So far on the season, batting .294, 10 hits, 2 of those being extra base hits with 2 doubles. 3 of those being extra base hits with 1 of those being a triple as well. He hit that back in Newark a couple of nights ago. As the first pitch is a breaking ball that catches the outer edge for a called strike 1. 0-1 on the Doubledays leadoff hitter. 0-1 pitch sent on in the air to shallow right field. Going back is Cooper Smith. He doesn't have to go very far and puts the first out away on Harrison Campy. Quick first out as well. Campy pretty aggressive. Strike called on him and then sent a fly ball out to right field as Tommy Roldan steps in. For Roldan, it's been a great start to the summer so far, batting .375 with 12 hits. As the first pitch is a breaking ball that runs off the inside corner for ball 1, 1-0. Roldan, the Virginia commit, 7 RBIs, 4 walks. OPS of .936. We have yet to see him run into a baseball so far, and haven't seen a couple of Doubledays really run into a baseball as a good, leaving up at a ball and a strike apiece. Well, we're talking with Roldan earlier before the game, bringing out a new whole bag of Louisville Slugger bats. He decides to go with the Adam Jones version from being Poolsville, Maryland, as a big hook misses upstairs for ball 2, 2-1. Big fan of Adam Jones. Spent a lot of good seasons out in Baltimore with the Orioles. Rookie season was sent in Seattle. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swinging and a foul ball sent right off the facade of the rooftop covering overhead. And Roldan down to a 1-2 count. Well, we talked with Roldan in the preseason. He said he likes to mimic his game very similarly to Bryce Harper, and they both have a very violent left-handed swing. As the 2-2 pitch on the way, swing and a foul overhead. And so we'll try it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big left-hander. Digs back in. Just looking like he's more moving up on the box. 2-1 pitch on the way. Swing and another foul ball down the left field line. Never mind. This ball's slicing into the corner. It's staying fair. Roldan rounds first. He's going to hustle into second base with a slide. And the Doubledays have a 1-out double here in the bottom half of the first inning. And it looked like Roldan, instead, it just stayed straight. And it just sliced right into the little corner down the left field line and deep. And just like that, the Doubledays have a runner in scoring position here in the bottom half of the first inning, thanks to the double from Roldan. Looks like a little fastball trying to catch the outer edge. Roldan was able just to stay back long enough and just spit it down the left field line. I'll bring up Hazel Martinez as the first pitch breaking ball misses the outside corner for ball 1, 1-0. For Martinez so far, 8 RBIs on the season, looking for number 9, sitting out at second base. A .282 average, has had an up and down season so far as a good fastball runs off the inside corner for ball 2, 2-0. Started out really good, a 3-for-5 night over in Geneva to begin things, and then it went a little roller coastery, up and down, but he's back into a more stable spot here. As a 2-0 pitch is a fastball dotted at the knees on the outside corner for a called strike, 2-1. Well, Martinez, his ability to not strike out, certainly something to pay attention. Only 4 of those on the year so far for him. Really is able to work a count well and stay alive as a fastball runs up above the letters, gets a swinging strike 2. And Martinez evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, for Lutz, he does not give up a lot of runs, has 4 runs total on the season. Only one of those has been earned. Take a look at that 0.54 ERA as a 2-2 pitch is line drive to second, and it's past the diving Blake into right center field. That's going to split the gap and head to the alley. Roldan's into score standing. Martinez tips toes into second base, and back-to-back doubles for the Doubledays. It's a double day here in the bottom half of the first inning as they strike first in this one, and that will bring up the catcher, Bobby Stang. And another off-speed pitch hanging up in the zone. Hazel Martinez just slaps it right back up the middle. We were talking about the rain in the early part of the ball game, and that ball just kept on running and split the gaps. Matt Granado had to go down to a slide just to knock the ball down and keep Martinez from moving up to third base. So RBI number 9 so far this summer for Hazel Martinez. As the first pitch misses down low, ball 1 to Bobby Stang. Stang on the season so far, your leader in the RBI category with 17. Leads the team in that. As Martinez works his way off second, the 1-0. In the dirt, good stop by Bartenstein, keeps it in front. 2 balls and no strikes, and this is the early trouble that Lutz is going to need to avoid having. As he got ahead of Harrison Camp, he was able to retire him on the second pitch, and then with Tommy Roldan, he started behind and then had to even up the count. Same story with Martinez as a big breaking ball gets called for a strike up and in. 2 balls and a strike to the Doubledays cleanup man. Stang, the Georgia Southern catcher. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way. Downstairs and low for ball 3, 3-1. And for Stang, with the hitter of his ability, he does not take a lot of walks. He only has 1 on the summer so far. Does have a lower side of the on-base percentage. However, has plenty of hits to spare as a fastball runs off the inside corner for ball 4. So Bobby Stang takes his second walk of the summer in stride. Heads on down to first base, and that will bring up Garrett Prosper. The left-hander getting his first start since Father's Day. Out with a little bit of a groin issue. Sat this whole week out and said he felt better today. The trainer cleared him for baseball activities yesterday. So it's good to see him back on his feet, ready to roll. Runners on first and second here with only 1 away. As the first pitch for Prosper sent on the ground back up the middle. Blake's got it, sends a flip to Fadio for 1. The relay onto first base is in time for a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. But the Doubledays do strike first. An RBI double by Hazel Martinez scoring Tommy Roldan. The Doubledays currently lead it 1-0 going into the second.
With career and technical education programs, BOCES offers dozens of hands-on programs. Visit our website at ca1boces.org to find the right fit for you. And I want to remind you that members of the Doubledays fan club, as well as Doubledays players, will be in stands through the end of the 5th inning, selling 50/50 raffle tickets. Tickets are $1 each, 3 for $2 or 10 for $5. So please support the Doubledays while giving yourself a chance to take home some serious cash. Tonight's winning ticket will be drawn at the end of the 7th inning.
Picking things up here in the top half of the second inning, Doubledays currently see an RBI double by Hazel Martinez. As Jake Dannyluck, the southpaw, gets himself ready to go back out on the mound for his second inning of work. versus this Elmira offense, as a good hook catches the inside corner for a called first strike, 0-1. Frank Wayman getting the start here tonight as the designated hitter for Elmira. Daniel Luck, lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and fouled down the first base side towards the dugout, and we'll try it at 0-2. Frank Wayman, Aiden Blake, Joe Muzio. 4, 5, and 6 due up in order for Elmira. Auburn defense playing straight up and a little deep in the outfield as the 0-2 slider misses the outside corner through Bobby Stang at a ball and 2 strikes. For Wayman, so far this season, batting .333 in only 4 games played. This is his 5th one, getting a start in. 4 hits and 12 at-bats, 1 double on the summer so far. Daniel looks in. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Another good pitch, just missing off the inside corner, looking like a changeup. Doesn't get the swing and a miss from Wayman, and the count will even up at 2-2. Daniel finally getting another start back at home. Actually, this is his first start at home since the Batavia series. Has a good swing and a foul, just getting a piece of it is Wayman. So we'll try it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Daniel got the start here at home against the Batavia Muck Dogs. That was game 1 of our 2-game doubleheader last week on the 17th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here to begin things at the top of the 2nd inning. Pitch on the way is a good breaking ball. Check swing. Does he go around? And we're waiting for the call from the field umpire. Yes, he goes around. Tag applied. Strikeout number 1. As Wayman makes his way back to the dugout, and that will bring up Aiden Blake. So a delayed strikeout call, first one of the ball game for Daniel Luck, and that will bring up Aiden Blake, the second baseman. Blake batting a .244 start to the summer so far. 11 for 45, 4 doubles, no triples. 6 walks so far to begin his summer as we're moving into the midway point of the season. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball runs off the outside corner arm side for ball 1-1-0 on the second baseman for Elmira. Doubleday is looking to gain some ground here this weekend in the standings. Currently 2.5 back in 5th place as a fastball just misses downstairs for ball 2-2-0. Daniel takes his walk around the mound before working his way back onto the rubber. 7-7 start to the summer so far. 500 baseball. Doubledays have been outscoring opponents at home by a positive 6 runs as a 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed for a swinging strike, 2-1. On the road, the positive run differential of a +26. A 16-0 win certainly helps. That was back on Tuesday night in Geneva. Here comes a 2-1 pitch on the way. Good hook by Daniel. Gets a swinging strike 2 on Aiden Blake. So mention for Daniel, strikeout artist, 13 on the summer so far. Doubleday's a left-hander, tall, standing in. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Gets away from Bobby Stang. Long recovery. Strong throw high. Gets away from Prosper. Goes on into right field. Roldon's up with the baseball as he will put it in his back pocket, and moving up to second base is Aiden Blake. On the throwing error by Bobby Stang, sends a little slap to the mask as a strikeout ends up all the way at second base, and the first error committed to the ball game is on the Doubleday's backstop. So second strikeout of the game so far, but Daniel is going to have to get a 4th out on the error. Bobby Stang's first error so far committed this season. Doubleday's 10 errors coming into this one, now at 11. As Joe Muzio, the first baseman, will work his way up. Another lefty-lefty matchup against Danny Luck. Blake takes his lead over at second base. Couple of looks. Here's the first pitch, breaking ball. That one catches the outside corner for a called first strike, 0-1. Doubleday's up 1-0 to begin the ball game. Elmira looking to get their offense rolling with a runner on second base as a fastball runs off the inside corner for ball 1-1-1. Lights have been turned on before the game even started with all this dark, stormy clouds overhead. Mentioned the rain that's still here and apparent. It's just a little light drizzle. out in the crowd. A couple of umbrellas have been seen. Little pause from Danieluk, takes a couple of looks at second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Slider bounces in. Bobby Stang able to keep it in front of him. And it goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Malillo out in left field, making his way closer towards the left field line and shading just a little more in. Tommy Roldan, the right fielder, playing back a little bit more. And A.J. Winrich playing straight away in center field. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball through the right side. That's going to be a base hit. Giving him the windmill is Andrew Drum. Here's the throw to the plate. It's going to be cut off by Prosper as Drum threw a late stop sign up on Blake, the runner. Roldan already has 1 outfield assist so far this season, as the throw was cut off home by Garrett Prosper. And now there are runners at the corners with 1 away, and that will bring up Jake Keller. Roldan came up firing. We mentioned he was playing pretty much a little bit deeper out in right field. It was a hard hit single by Muzio through the right side of the infield. It got to Roldan quite quick, skipping off the turf. He sent a strike into Garrett Prosper, the first baseman, as the cutoff, as the first pitch fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike on Keller, who didn't like the call. Gives Ray Bryan a little look before stepping out. Tying run sits 90 feet away at third. Muzio, the go-ahead, sits over at first base here in the top of the second inning. Short leads by the runners at the corners. On pause, here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another good slider from Danieluk. It's actually fouled off the end of the bat. No balls and 2 strikes on the 7-hitting extra hitter. Infield playing straight up in adult play depth as Carson Gross not moving very far from the third base bag. Pinching up the middle is Harrison Campy and Riley Brody, with Prosper holding the runner on at first. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Fastball running above the letters. Gets a swinging strike 3 from Jake Keller. Third strikeout in this one. And that will bring up Ray Hernandez, the third baseman. Well, Ray Hernandez certainly has done his damage against the Doubledays so far this season. Was a pivotal player in the 18-8 victory for the Doubledays. Here comes the first pitch as a good slider catches the edge for a called strike. 0-1. Well, this is where Danieluk has been his best, has been in situations quite like this. Pressure cooking spot. Even though it is early, it still sets the tone for the ball game. Runners take their leads 2 away. Over at the corners. Here's the 0-1 taken for a strike, and the runner is going to delay steal. He's going to get to second on a defensive indifference as a called strike 2 on Hernandez. Well, the runner in second base, Joe Muzio, took a couple extra steps before taking off for a second, and Bobby Stang just ate it into his back pocket. What you saw on Muzio taking a slide into second base, slid right past that second base bag. That's going to be something that the Doubledays are certainly going to want to take a look at and remind themselves, especially with runners trying. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a pop-up. Is it going to be in fair or foul territory? Carson Gross moving on, and he makes the catch in fair territory to retire the side. The Pioneers put some pressure on along with a Doubledays error, but they ran the runners at the corners. We now go to the bottom half of the second inning. Our score, the Pioneers 1 and the Doubleday, or excuse me, the Pioneers 0 and the Doubledays 1. And picking things up in the bottom half of the second inning, it'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Doubledays. AJ Wenrich, Christian Melillo, and Christian Bauman. Struggle of a start to the season for him. But Monday night versus the Cortland Crush, he sent a RBI game-winning single into left field. And then he was off to the races from there as a first pitch fastball misses above the hands for ball 1-1-0. I asked with AJ, ask him about the struggles and what the process is like going away from it as he swings and pops it up on the middle of the infield. Ray Hernandez calling everybody off, and he glides towards the second base bag and makes the catch for out number 1. He said that the struggles were very real. He said he was doing anything he could. Looking back at the videotapes, he was looking at his swing, trying to make the little adjustments. But then it was just keeping everything as simple as possible. The little adjustments certainly turned into big outcomes, and a couple of hits over in Geneva as a first pitch fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike 0-1 on Christian Melillo. Well, here's another guy who's certainly gone off to the races, especially over the last couple of days, as a good breaking ball misses the inside edge for ball 1-1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as a slider misses off the inside corner for ball 2-2-1. Over Christian, over the last 5 games, batting .600 on the dot. He's been 6 for his last 10, as he's had himself a red-hot week as he sends a foul ball right over towards us. Count will even up at 2-2. 3 RBIs as well in this last 5 games, in those last 10 at-bats with 1 home run. That was back in Geneva. Here comes a 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul right through the wickets of the home plate umpire, Ray Bryant. So we'll try it again at 2-2. But it has been one good stretch of games for Christian, as well as the last 10 games. 8 for his last 17 in that aspect, as a swing and a miss, as a good fastball running upstairs above the hands of Melillo. 2 away. First strikeout of the ball game for Connor Lutz. And here comes Christian Bauman. For Bauman on the season, he's had an up and down year as well, very similar to Hazel Martinez. 243 start with 9 hits, no doubles yet, but he has hit 3 triples with 1 home run as a first pitch foul down the third base side as the kids go running for the baseball. Bauman was dealing with some hamstring issues coming into the season back in the spring. Had to miss a whole spring season essentially, maybe with a couple of games sprinkled here and there. As an 0-1 fastball runs above the hands for ball 1-1-1. He said he was so excited when summer ball finally came around the corner to get a chance to have some consistent at-bats, some consistent time on the playing field. As the 1-1 pitch comes on the way, a high breaking ball taken above the hands. Lutz hasn't been able to find that snappiness that he had back in the first inning on it. Good hitters count at 2-1 for Bauman. The infield shifted more to his pull side along with the outfield. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a high pop-up. Staying in on the infield, but it will travel its way out and above us and over towards the main concourse. Deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the bottom half of the second inning for number 28. 1 strikeout so far in the ballgame for Lutz. That was the batter previous. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside, called third strike. Christian Bauman having a shake of the head before heading back to the third base dugout. But the Doubledays are retired in order. We now go to the top half of the third inning with our score: the Doubledays 1 and the Pioneers 0. third inning of work here inside Falcon Park as the rain still continues to drizzle down, as most of the Doubledays players have elected to throw on their hoodies in the third base dugout. The Pioneers have elected to not be on the railing but stay under the covered dugout area, as a right-hander Blaze Fadio will step in to lead things off here in the top half of the third inning, as a good fastball catches the outside corner for a called first strike. 0-1. Doubledays off defense, playing a little bit deep to Fadio as the 0-1 is just taken off the outside corner for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. As mentioned, Doubledays in their home whites with Elmira playing in their road blues, as the 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball that misses the outer edge for ball 2, 2-1. Well, there is a rosin bag sitting behind the mound. We haven't seen Danny let go and take a little love from the rosin bag yet. It's a perfect combination to use it right now. A little bit wet and sticky, as the 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed for a swinging strike at 2-2. Let's see a couple of players usually grab the rosin bag, either tap it on their forearms where the most sweat comes in. And if you have white pants like the Doubledays do, see some pitchers usually drench their pants with it before hitting the rosin bag there to get some extra stick, as a fastball misses outside for ball 3, 3-2. And with this rain that you're seeing, you're going to have a little more wayward pitches. Pitchers trying to find the grip of the baseball, especially with that rain staying in the area for maybe the next hour. As a 3-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Another drop third strike. The throw to first base. Prosper pulls off the bag before keeping his spike right back on it. So strikeout number 4 so far in the ballgame for Jake Danny Luck. 1 away. And that will bring up Brody Bartenstein, the catcher. Well, for certain pitchers, and we've seen this over the last couple of years, especially with all the new rules coming from Major League Baseball, as the first pitch misses downstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Spider tack, any other foreign substance, especially the old sunscreen and then a rosin trick, currently not allowed for professional baseball players, as a fastball misses downstairs for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes, as Jake Danny Luck elects to get a new baseball. But you have all of the elements right now causing pitchers to not have the control of baseball. And if you were to ask any hitter, would you rather allow them to have the sticky stuff and at least know where the baseball is going, as a good snapping breaking ball catches the inside corner for a called strike, 2-1. I'm sure most professional hitters would say, yeah, let them use whatever they want to use as long as it's 95 miles an hour and they know where it's going. Nothing's more scarier than 95 and I don't know where it is, as another good back-to-back breaking ball catches the inner edge for a called strike 2 at 2-2. Well, that rain certainly coming down, as all the fans with the umbrellas are starting to see that rain start to drench off. Here's the pitch on the way, swing and a foul just in front of the plate. Bobby Stang was looking back at Ray Hernandez. Didn't look like it really caught the turf, but will stay alive at a 2 balls, 2 strikes count. First time the Doubledays are electing to play in the rain, as we've had a lot of weather delays over the last couple of weeks. It's good to use the turf for the reason. The 2-2 pitch, fastball runs on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, number 5 on the evening so far for Jake Danny Luck. He's in a nice little groove. First one looking, and that will bring the top of the order back up to Matt Granado. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field his first time up. Well, there was no rain initially in the earlier afternoons, but as we got closer and closer to the game time, that humidity outside certainly became a factor. And during batting practice, you knew that the rain was going to come at some point, as a high fly ball sent foul down the first baseline and into the visitor bullpen. No balls and a strike to Granado. When you walked outside, or especially this morning, you can tell that there was going to be something in the air coming later, as that rain was just going to come no matter what. And over the next week, we're looking at a very same forecast, as a good breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called strike, 0-2. Well, in Major League Baseball, all you need to do is get 5 innings in before a rain delay is called, and official game has been played. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs off the edge for ball 1-1-2. Well, it's a good thing for Falcon Park that we are on a turf diamond for this afternoon and evening game, as if we were anywhere else in the league, we probably wouldn't be playing this baseball game. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away to Granado, the leadoff man, and the fastball runs inside, jackknifing Granado out of the way. Count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, plenty of technological advancements in baseball allowing you to play games in the rain, very much similar to the artificial turf on the diamond. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way from Daniel Luck, swinging a high fly ball sent out to left field. Going back is Melillo, still carrying back, and he makes the catch for out number 3. 1-2-3 once again are retired in order by the Pioneers. The 1-0 lead going into the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
Firefighters, also the Auburn Firefighters Union, Clark Containers, Rich's Dance Bar, Clark's Spray Foam and Drywall, as well as Slobby. So many thanks to our teachers, classes for tonight.
And we're picking things up here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. The bottom half of the order is set for the Doubledays. Carson Gross, Riley Brody, and Harrison Campy all due up for the Doubledays. As Carson Gross will make his way, the switch hitter will be batting from the left-hand side, facing the right-hander in Lutz. Good start to the year so far for Carson, a .333 average, 11 hits, one of those being a double, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and one of the best base runners I've seen so far, as a high pop-up down the right field line is run down by Cooper Smith, and there's 1 away early here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. 1 away, and that will bring up Riley Brody, the second baseman from Ithaca. Well, Brody, he's still looking for his first hit in the PGCBL play, as he got a couple of hits back on Monday against the Crush and then was able to find another base hit back on Thursday night as a first pitch swinging line drive right to the second baseman on a slide. Aiden Blake having to go to his glove side, taking away a single from Riley Brody, so he's still looking for that first hit, but 2 away, and the top of the order comes right back up with Harrison Campy set in. So 2 quick outs for the Doubledays, and they're going to look to their leadoff man to see what he can do as a first pitch fastball runs above the hands for ball 1. Well, golden rule, when the first 2 guys ahead of you get out on the first pitch, you have to take. You don't want a 1-2-3 first pitch inning, as a fastball sent foul right back to the screen. 86 miles an hour on Falcon Park. Little pause. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way, as a fastball sent foul down the first base side again. A little tardy, Campy. And he was going to ask the home plate umpire, Ray Bryant, if that ball would have been up, and it looks like it would have been. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Doubleday's first 2 men retired early, as Campy sends a soft little line drive into shallow right center field for a base hit. A very aggressive turn rounding first base. Campy is aboard with a 1-out knock, or excuse me, a 2-out knock, and that will bring up Tommy Roldan. So a good knock for in the inning. It looks like he got a fastball up over the plate and just spat it into right center field. And that will bring up Roldan, who's 1 for 1 so far in the afternoon. As a first pitch misses downstairs and low for ball 1, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 away. Harrison Campy, the runner at first base. 1 stolen bag so far in the summer so far. Here's the 1-0 pitch as a slider misses off the inside corner, sliding out of the way is Roldan. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, we're talking with Roldan earlier about the bats, and Adam Jones has one of the more weirder knobs on a baseball bat that we'll see. Good lead by Campy, being quite aggressive as a 2-0 misses outside for ball 3, 3-0. Well, Don said, if I want to more go for power, I drop the hands a little bit closer to the very end of the knob. And when I'm on 2 strikes, I choke up a little bit, try to keep the control of the barrel. But he said he was feeling good today, so the hand is staying down. Here's the 3-0 pitch, missing upstairs for ball 4. So after a quick 2 outs, the Doubledays have back-to-back base runners reach. And that will bring up Hazel Martinez, who hit an RBI double his last time up, scoring Roldan from second. As the outfield for Elmira playing shallow. Really shocked to see Matt Granado playing that close in with Hazel Martinez. We saw the power that he possesses. We haven't seen it yet inside Falcon Park except for a couple of ringing doubles into the gap. As the first pitch fastball runs right to the backstop, and the runners will move up to second and third, and Campy taking a slide and really getting an experience of what it's like going on a slip and slide as he almost slides off the third base bag. And once again, a point to runners. You have to start that slide early on an evening quite like this. That turf has just been getting hammered with rain over the last hour or so. As the runners now at second and third here with 2 away, and Hazel Martinez, the batter up. 1 ball and no strikes. Connor Lutz sends a pitch on the way, sending it foul over our heads, out of play. And so we'll try it at a ball and a strike now. So far for Martinez on the summer, he got RBI number 9, hitting double number 5. Little pause from Lutz. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, swing and a foul over our heads. I'll try it at a ball and 2 strikes. Granado playing shallow from center field, looking over at left field. John Schroeder, the left fielder, playing pretty much straight up, maybe just a hair towards the left field line, and then out in right field with Cooper Smith, playing a little bit more deeper on the power-hitting left-hander. Long pause. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball running above the hands. And so we'll try it again at 2-2. Catchers also have to be quite weary today with the rain. We've seen both Danny Luck and Lutz kind of have a little bit of control issues on certain pitches. For Lutz has been that fastball. He's had it gotten away from him a couple of instances. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Runners take their lead. The pitch on the way, swing and a foul down the first base side. Logan Matson, the first base coach, having to go retrieve the baseball, and it looks like he is having himself a nice little tire down the first base side, putting all the gear on from Doubleday's hitters. A couple of elbow guards, a couple of leg guards. Tommy Roldan pretty much has the most gear out of anybody unprotected wise. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive, fair ball down the first baseline. It's going to get tucked into the corner. Campy comes home. In flight behind him, Roldan. He's in to score. RBIs number 10 and 11, and double number 6 so far for Hazel Martinez. Having a day. 3 RBIs so far, his second double of the ball game, and the Doubledays extend their lead. It's now 3-0. And just staying with the battle here, pitcher Connor Lutz got behind Martinez early on, sending a fastball to the backstop, and then a couple of other wild fastballs around the zone. Martinez then got a little more pickier with the 2-0 count, fouled a couple of baseballs off, and then gets a good breaking ball low and inside, and just turns it and burns it down the first base line. Joe Muzio, the first baseman, gave a pretty good effort, but it was no match for him, especially with the wet turf. That ball was skipping all the way into the corner. So Martinez aboard at second base with 2 away, 2 runners in, and Bobby Stang, the hitter, now up as a first pitch fastball runs upstairs for Bobby Stang. He walked his last time up and then was retired on a double play the very next pitch. And Martinez will retreat back to the bag as Lutz steps off and sends a phantom throw over. New bat in hand for Bobby Stang as well. Just arrived today. A nice little Victus V-cut, a little maroon on the barrel as a big breaking ball catches the middle of the plate for a called strikeout, 1-1. Well, for a man the size that Bobby Stang is, he does not have a very big bat. 33.5 inches. 30.5 ounce bat as well. 1-1 pitch is sent foul down the first base side, out of play. For Bobby, he's a 6'4", 6'5", depending on the day, he said. But doesn't use the size of a bat you would think he would. Guys that size usually elect to use a bigger bat, 34 inches, perhaps maybe even 35 if they're feeling really strong. 33.5 for Bobby as a fastball swung on and missed off the outside corner for strikeout number 3 on the evening. But the Doubledays strike back again. They get 2 as we now go to the 4th inning. Our score, the Doubledays lead it 3-0.
All beer and food items are just $3 each. So head on over to the concession stand before we end at the top of the 6th inning. All beer and food items just $3. If you plan to join us tomorrow night, we'll be at 5 p.m. for doubleheader against Niagara. And bring your ticket stub. It is free to tomorrow night's doubleheader, which includes the fireworks show after game 2.
And we're picking things up here in the top half of the 4th inning. The Doubledays extended their lead by 2 runs. It is now 3-0 here as we begin the top half of the 4th inning. Jake Danyluk back out for another inning of work. John Schroeder, Cooper Smith, and Frank Wayman all due up for the Pioneers. Despite this rain, we still have a pretty nice crowd on hand as a first pitch is fouled off the chest protector of Bobby Stang. No balls and a strike to Schroeder. Well, in game number 15 of the season so far, the Doubledays currently 7-7, playing .500 baseball. 3-3 so far at home, and then 4-4 on the road. As an 0-1 breaking ball just misses the outside corner for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. And for the visitors in Elmira, there have been struggles on the road, despite having that 7-1 record at home. A game below .500 at 3-4 certainly has been an issue. However, the hitting stats for Elmira will tell a different story as the fastball misses upstairs, ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. A .254 average on the road compared to a .214 at home. Has a good slider. Don't know where that one quite missed. Just off the inside corner for ball 3, 3-1 on Schroeder. As a team overall, though, for The Pioneers batting .232 on the summer as a fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike, 3-2 full count. 107 hits so far. They've been able to score 76 runs, 21 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs, 66 walks. The offense has been productive enough to settle for a good pitching staff as a foul sent right back to the screen, and we'll try it again at 3-2. The Doubleday's pitching numbers have certainly equalized in the offensive production. Doubleday has been able to outscore opponents 32 runs so far this year. Here comes a 3-2 on the way. Fastball just misses either outside or down low, as Ben Julian asked home plate umpire Ray Bryant. Must have just missed off the outer edge, so a leadoff walk. So the first leadoff man reaches for Elmira in the 4th inning, and that will bring up Cooper Smith. Smith weakly grounded out back to Danny Luck to retire the side in the 1st. Rain still pours here inside Falcon Park as Cooper Smith squares around and sends a high popped up bunt down the 3rd baseline into foul territory by the dugout. Well, Adam Drum electing to put the game in motion for Elmira early. They've been struggling against Danny Luck in the first 2 games so far. This is their 2nd time seeing Jake. And both instances have just not gone offensively the way they've liked to have it start, as a swing and a foul back to the screen, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, against left-handed bats so far this year, Pioneers have been able to hit .241 on the summer so far, 47 hits, 11 doubles, and 1 triple. As here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Runner takes off. The throw to second on a skip tag applied by Brody, and it is in time to get the runner in. Schroeder trying to swipe second base. And looks like Bobby Stang didn't get a good feet on the throw and just sent a rock skipper into second base, and Riley Brody with the quick arm on the tag. And just as the runner reaches on base, it is retired on the caught stealing. 1 away here now with a 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a foul down the first base side, out of play. Well, statistically speaking, at least in that aspect, the Pioneers are a much better hitting offense against left-handers compared to the right-hand counterparts. When a right-hander is throwing, Elmira's just hitting a tad over 200 at 203 as a good breaking ball sent in the air into left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Wenrich to cut it off, rounding first with a big turn. Can't be thought about sending a back door. Instead, just sends the baseball back into second base. So a 2-strike hit from Cooper Smith. He's aboard at first. And that will bring up Frank Wayman. "27 runs have been scored, though, against left-handers compared to the 41 runs scored against a right-hander. Slugging numbers as well tell a little bit of the story, as a .260 slugging against right-handed pitchers, as the first pitch misses outside for ball 1, 1 ball, and no strikes. Smith, the runner at first base, taking a short lead. Danieluk doesn't really send throws over to the first base bag. Does a really good job of holding runners on. As a swing and a ground ball over to Brody. This should be tailor-made. Flip to Campy for 1. The sharp throw over to first base retires the Pioneers in the 4th inning. A walk and then a base hit gets wiped away by some swift defense. We now go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Doubledays see a 3-0 lead. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 5, 6, and 7, Garrett Prosper, A.J. Wenrich, and Christian Malillo go back to work against Connor Lutz, who hasn't found his rhythm yet on the mound. The Doubledays offense were able to catch him back in the third inning, and it was looking like it was going to be a quick 1-2-3. Carson Gross and Riley Brody getting out on the first two pitches as a first pitch breaking ball catches the inside corner for a called first strike. 0-1 on Prosper. Harrison Campy was able to just flick a nice little single into right center field as the 0-1 swing and a foul back over our heads. And nothing in two now on Prosper. Campy with the base hit, and then Tommy Roldan was walked, and then Hazel Martinez right on cue with a 2-run double as Prosper lays into one. Shallow center field. Moving in is the right fielder Smith, and he makes the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Now I'll bring up A.J. Wenrich, the hitter. Popped out to the third baseman his first time up. We were talking earlier about his approach to getting out of that batting slump, and it was a long one. Just a lot of strikeouts as well, and just a couple of tiny little adjustments and just cues to get the mind right as the fastball runs upstairs for ball 1, 1-0. We're talking about what's the approach like trying to get out of a slump. He said it's just knowing that you've been there before as Wenrich lays into one deep to left field. That's going to carry him halfway up the wall. Rounding first and hustling to second base. A.J. Wenrich just gets there in time. It is a 1-out double for the Doubleday center fielder. Something like a little that was just a little cue up, and he's been there before, and then he just lays in just a hanging fastball over the heart of the plate and just swats it into left field, halfway up the one group sign. Baseballs just don't really carry out of here, but that one had a mission. Bangs halfway up the wall with another double. The Doubledays have really been hitting those extra base hits quite a lot over the last couple of ball games. As I'll bring up Christian Malillo as a first pitch in the dirt gets stopped by the catcher Bartenstein, keeping Wenrich aboard at second base. But for AJ, we were talking about the adjustment period. He said, I've been here before, and it's just part of the game. You're going to have slumps over your career. And just knowing the player who you are, knowing the guy that is in the batter's box every day, nothing should change except for maybe a couple of tweaks adjustment-wise. But it looks like Wenrich giving a chase, giving a look, and this ball is gone. Second home run for Christian Malillo. It's a 2-run Johnson down the right field line. It's our first home run of the summer inside Falcon Park, and the Doubledays add 2 more. It is 5-0. Well, it's a fastball right in the wheelhouse, low and inside. Turns and burns down the right field line over the Swifties Tavern sign. A beautiful left-hand swing, one-hand finish. He knew it as soon as he got it. And that baseball just had a mission to go out. And how about the Doubledays this inning? Christian Malillo, second home run of the summer. He hit his first just a couple of nights ago out in Geneva, as Christian Bauman will step in as a first pitch breaking ball misses the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1. Christian Bauman now up to bat as he sends a pop-up foul over our heads out of play. RBI's number 8 and 9 for Malillo, and like we said, he's just been swinging a very hot twig at the plate over the last couple of ball games. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way to Bauman. Swing and a miss. A good changeup gets pulled the string. Bauman is retired, and that will bring up Carson Gross. Third strikeout of the game so far, 2 away. Carson 0 for 1 in this one. He popped out back to right field back in the second inning. It's always, or rather back in the third inning, as a first pitch is swung on and missed. Another good changeup coming from Lutz. Entering into this game, Lutz was 1-0 with an ERA of .54. My, have things changed as a good fastball misses just off the outer edge for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 10 hits were given up so far, and the Doubledays have had 5 already in this ball game. Half in that as a 2-1 pitch now to Carson Gross. All the left-hand power from Christian Malillo. Switch hitting. Says the power's from the right-hand side, but yet 2 home runs have been hit from the left side. Here's the 2-1 to Grossa as a fastball misses outside for ball 3, 3-1. And Lutz is going to need to find that composure again. He looked really good in that first inning. And it looked like he was going to be set with back-to-back 1-2-3s as a fastball catches the inner edge for a called strike called strike now, and the count runs full at 3-2. Doubleday's 2 runs in already. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way to Gross, and a foul right back to us. And so we'll try it again in a full count. A little bit of trouble in the first inning. Doubledays were able to take advantage. Second inning, 1-2-3 in order. And then the third inning, a couple of quick outs. And then the top of the order came up. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a line, drive down the left field line, slicing away, slicing into the corner. Carson Gross takes the turn at first base, and he heads into second base with another extra base hit. Doubledays with another double in this one. Second of the summer so far for Carson. Sends a beautiful golf swing from the second base bag, and that will bring up Riley Brody. Well, how about this from this Doubledays offense? We were talking about their extra base hit potential. Entering into this ball game with 27 doubles, 5 triples, and then 3 home runs. Just tonight so far, the Doubledays have been on the extra base hit train as a first pitch breaking ball misses downstairs for ball 1, 1-0. Five doubles have already been hit tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, swinging a little tapper off the shoe tops of Brody. So he'll stay back in the left-hand batter's box, and we'll try a ball and a strike now. First home run of the season hit inside Falcon Park. 330 down the right field line, and it was a towering pop-up. That ball had every intention of staying fair down the line. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way in the dirt, and it gets away from Bartenstein. Gross is going to be rounding third. He's thinking about heading home. Then he slams on the brakes as Lutz finally covering home plate, and Bartenstein took a while to get to the baseball. And we've talked about Carson's ability to run the bases. I don't think I've seen a guy be more aggressive on balls in the dirt. This time he was looking for an extra run coming in with Lutz not paying attention right off the bat. The Doubledays have certainly put on the gas pedal here in the 4th inning. 2 balls and a strike to Brody with Carson now 90 feet away. Here comes the pitch. Runs inside for ball 3, 3-1 now. Right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Pioneers. He's hot and ready. Here comes the 3-1 pitch on the way. Upstairs for ball 4. So the inning continues with Riley Brody moving up 90 feet. And time is called as Brian Joe will take a stroll out to the mound to talk with his hurler. Well, for the Doubledays so far this season with runners in scoring position, they have been struggling over the last couple of ball games, but starting to pick it up again. Entering this ball game, hitting .220, 108 at-bats. Been able to hit 2 home runs, 51 RBIs. As here comes Harrison Campy with an opportunity now. So far hitting .250 on the season so far with 5 RBIs with runners in scoring position. And here we are looking at the 2 outs. And this is where the Doubledays have really started to struggle. Only hitting a .180 entering this game with a 2 out with runners in scoring position. As the first pitch breaking ball floats in the inside corner for a called first strike 0-1. Can't be 1 for 1 in this, or rather 1 for 2. Fly out in the first and then a run scored on a base hit back in the second as fastball runs upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now that right-hander is ready to go whenever he needs to be called on as Connor Lutz still struggling to get out of the inning. Here comes the 1-1 as Brody, the runner, takes off. The throw to second is a little wide, and it's knocked down by the second baseman, Aiden Blake, keeping that away. As another stolen base from Brody, this one being his first one of the season in the PGCBL play. And now another runner moves up into scoring position with 2 outs as Campy has a 2-1 count. Leads the team in sacrifice flies with 4, though it is not available here with 2 outs. Campy has been able to work the team at bats quite well so far this summer. Carson Gross, the runner at third, Riley Brody at second. Here comes the 2-1 pitch as a fastball runs below the knees for ball 3, 3-1. And this could very well be Lute's last batter with Tommy Roldan awaiting on deck. 3 balls and a strike, 2 away. Runners in scoring position. Here's the pitch on the way. Taken for a called strike, a breaking ball just at the letters. 3 balls, 2 strikes now, 2 away. Doubledays with a chance to really break this open. Here comes the full count pitch on the way. Breaking ball sent on the ground down the third base side, foul. And so we'll try it again at 3-2. Campy just ahead on a breaking ball, able to spoil it. Jake Danieluk will be out once again for the Doubledays as nobody has even thought about taking a look down the left field line into the bullpen. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Campy the hitter, 1 for 2 in this one, looking for his first RBI of the ballgame. The pitch on the way, taken down low for ball 4. And here comes Andrew Drum. He sends a hat to the bullpen, and that is going to do it for Connor Lutz. The Doubledays chase him here in the 4th inning, as we'll be right back on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Bases are loaded in a 5-0 game. Well, that closes the book on Connor Lutz. Goes 3 2/3 innings, gives up 7 hits. He's responsible for all the runners on base right now. Bases are loaded. Walked 1, struck out 4. As now taking the ball, it'll be the right-hander Zach Nelson, 1-1 on the season so far. Started 1 game, has made 3 appearances in 7 1/3 innings pitch. He's given up 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those were earned. He's walked 2, struck out 5. He's given up 5 doubles, 1 triple. Opponents hitting a .320 average against him. And who better to step up to welcome a new pitcher? And it's Tommy Roldan taking the long stride out to the left-hand batter's box. 2 away. Bases are packed here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And why not Tommy Roldan? For Tommy so far, a double in the 1st inning and a walk in the 3rd. He scored twice. Here's the first pitch on the way. A fastball catches the knees for a called first strike, 0-1. Lutz entered into this ball game with an ERA of .54. That number will take a trampoline jump up next when we see that number later in the ball game. Pause. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as a breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called strike two, and now Roldan's going to have to battle after 2 quick strikes. The rain is still pouring here inside Falcon Park, but it's turned into a nice little drizzle. Bases packed. Gross at third. Brody at second. Campy at first. The pitch on the way. Swinging a little tapper in front of the plate. Coming in to try and slide home is Carson Gross. But taking the bag at home plate is Brody Bartenstein and Connor Lutz. Despite the lead as the runners left stranded. We now go to the top half of the 5th inning. Doubledays with a 5-0 lead. And welcome back to the Falcon Park as the Doubledays have a 5-0 lead over the Elmira Pioneers. Christian Malillo sending a baseball where not a lot has gone so far this year down the right field line and into the parking lot by Casey Park. As Jake Danieluk has had himself a nice little rest in between innings, he has Aiden Blake, Joe Muzio, and Jake Keller due up as a first pitch fastball sent down the third baseline, foul. No balls and a strike. As I mentioned, this is our first home run hit inside Falcon Park. Thank you to Christian Malillo. Doubledays 4 home runs on the summer so far. 3 of those all coming against Geneva as a ground ball sent over to shortstop. Harrison Campy fields in his kitchen. Low throw, dug out by Prosper at first base. And there's one away to begin the top half of the 5th inning. And that will bring up Joe Muzio, the first baseman. Base hit back in the 2nd inning, and he was left stranded over at third base once the inning was fully retired. Lefty-lefty matchup here against Jake Danieluk. 2nd time he's seen him as a fastball runs inside, a little duck of the arms. 1 ball and no strikes to Muzio. Game tonight against the Pioneers, and then we will have a doubleheader action against the Niagara Power as a good breaking ball sent foul towards the dugout. Count will even up at a ball and a strike. They'll be off to Elmira on Sunday the 25th. Day off, and then a couple of games at home, one on the 27th and one on the 29th versus the Newark Pilots and the Geneva Red Wings. As a breaking ball misses the outside edge for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Elmira, this is their 2nd trip inside Falcon Park, and it's looking very similar to the last time I came to play here at Leo Pickney Field. As a 2-1 pitch is a fastball down below the zone for ball 3, 3-1. As mentioned, with Elmira currently leading the West and Niagara just in 2nd place right behind them. A chance to really make some action as a fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike. It's now 3-2. Well, Jake sitting on 5 strikeouts so far tonight. Takes a look into Muzio. Here's the full count pitch on the way, taken down low for ball 4. So the second walk of the game so far for Danny Luck is a 1 out base runner, and that will bring up Jake Keller, the extra hitter. Defense playing straight up in the outfield with the infield pinching the middle for the double play ball. Auburn has already turned 2 today once. That was back in the 4th inning as a good first pitch breaking ball catches the inner edge for a called strike 0-1. A couple of guys starting to stretch a little bit down the left field line of the bullpen for the Doubledays, but nothing stirring quite yet. Here comes the 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball runs off the plate outside for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike with Joe Muzio, the runner at first base. Short lead with Danny Luck, the left-hander. Working from the third base side of the rubber, the 1-1 pitch. Fastball. That one just missed. Don't know where. Maybe just below the knees. 2 balls and a strike. Well, you got to give it to the fans' commitment down below the overhang area, down with the nice little stadium seats, sticking to the rain as the 2-1 pitch, as a good breaking ball catches the inside corner for a called strike 2-2-2. Game time temperature was 75 degrees with this rain. It just feels like a warm shower. A couple of fans not even bothering with the umbrella. I actually like that style. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Check swing, and maybe that could have been strike 3 regardless. That one just misses off the inside corner as Ray Bryant's hearing it just a little bit from the third base dugout. Count rolls full yet again at 3-2. See if Andrew Drum will put the game in motion with Muzio with the left hand of him on. Short lead working out. Here's the 3-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul down the third baseline. And so we'll try it again with a full count. Danny Luck getting his 4th inning of work started here. Muzio aboard at first base with the right-hander Jake Keller. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Here's the pitch on the way. Breaking ball. That one catches the outside corner for a called 3rd strike. Jake Keller was starting to take off the elbow guard and sent the bat towards the first base dugout. And then a delayed strike 3 called. As a second time, Keller's packing his bags. That was his first strikeout looking. Strikeout number 6 of the ballgame for Jake Danny Luck, 2 away. And that will bring up Ray Hernandez. But we saw that back on Monday night when Ray Bryant was behind the plate against the Cortland Crush. Not a ton of called strikes early as a runner takes off to throw to second, holding on to the tag. Not in time, though, as Joe Muzio moves up 90 feet. He's aboard at second base on a stolen bag. That will have a runner in scoring position for Ray Hernandez. Lefty-lefty matchup once again. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a ground ball sent foul down the first base side. Well, the offensive struggles have been quite apparent so far. So despite being in first place at 10-5, Elmira's hitting has certainly taken the back seat so far this year. Runners in scoring position and 2 outs. The Pioneers are only batting $167, bringing 25 runs in so far as a 1-1 pitch is sent on the ground over to first base. Prosper's got it. He motors over to the bag, and that will retire this side. Well, the Pioneers get a runner in scoring position, but leave him stranded. We now go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Doubledays up 5-0. And we're back here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Doubledays currently see a 5-0 lead over the Pioneers. And the Doubledays were able to, after Zach Nelson will go back out for another inning of work here as the right-hander works in out of the windup from the first base side. He's in to face Hazel Martinez as the first pitch fastball swung on and missed for a swinging strike, 0-1. Martinez 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles in this one. Has 3 RBIs so far on the evening as a good breaking ball misses downstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch on the way, swing off the hand of the bat. It's going to fall in for Ray Hernandez. He's got on the hop throw to first and a good scoop over at the bag as Joe Muzio to the 5th inning for Bobby Stang. Doubledays were able to send 8 batters to the plate in the 4th inning. Bobby Stang 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk, and well, if he were to hit a home run, he would have had our 3 true outcome cycle as a first pitch breaking ball gets a swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, Bobby has gone to a different piece of lumber. He had his original Victus out in the first 2 at-bats. He decided to switch it up a little bit as another fastball. That one runs near the ears for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Looks like it's the same exact model as the last bat, just more natural handle with the pine tar down closer to the end of the bat as a breaking ball catches the edge for a called strike, 1 and 2. Here comes Nelson's 1-2 pitch on the way, swing and a fly ball sent out to right center field. Drifting back is Cooper Smith. Ranging near the warning track, puts the catch down. And there's 2 quick outs for the Doubledays here in the 5th inning. Prosper flew out to right his last time up. He's 0 for 2 with a double play back in the 1st inning. Well, we've seen this story so far this afternoon and evening. Elmira was able to get the first 2 batters out swiftly in the inning, and then the wheels on the bus started to fall off as a first pitch changeup misses outside, ball 1, 67 on the radar gun. Infield shifted deep to the pull side for Prosper with a second baseman, Aiden Blake, playing all the way on the outfield grass as a fastball misses regardless as the 3-0 fastball taken off the outside corner for a called strike at 3-1. Back out in the left-hand batter's box, waving his bat back and forth. 3-1 pitch on the way, fastball taken on the outer third for a called strike 2. Prosper was just about to be sending his bat to the third base dugout and making his way to first base. And that's a battle up at 3-2. Nelson from the windup. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way, sent down the left field line, slicing into the bullpen, foul. And so we'll try it again at 3-2. Ray Hernandez playing well off that third baseline with the shortstop. Blaze Fadio almost playing up the middle exactly. Cooper Smith, the right fielder, playing really back as a 3-2 curveball misses outside, backs up for ball 4. And that will bring up A.J. Wenrich with 2 away and a runner aboard. So walk number 7 for Prosper. He makes his way down to Logan Madsen, hands off the batting gloves and whatever other equipment he deems unnecessary to run the bases. Wenrich hit a bullet of a double down the left field line his last time up, halfway up the scoreboard, as a fastball misses off the outside corner for ball 1. Entering into this game, AJ hitting a $150s too. He's going to see that average start to slowly climb back up. Prosper lead over at first. Here's the 1-0 swing and a miss. A good breaking ball gets a wave on the front foot. Wenrich readjusts the batting gloves before taking a breath, digging himself back in. Big right-hander from Georgia Southern. Bent at the knees. The 1-1 pitch sent in the air out to second base as Aiden Blake moves in onto the grass, puts the catch down to retire the Doubledays. Auburn gets a runner on first but leaves him stranded. We now go to the 6th inning with our score, the Doubledays leading 5-0.
Tickets, take them out and see if you have ticket number 753146. That's 753146. If that's your ticket number, go on up
And we are moving forward here in the 6th inning. The Doubledays 5-0 over the Pioneers. Jake Danieluk, throwing a gem on the rubber, as he will have the bottom guys in the order: Blaze Fadio, Brody Bartenstein, and then the top of the order with Matt Granado looming on deck. Only 2 hits surrendered so far for Danieluk through his first 5 innings, as if he were to escape out of this one, he would be still in line with the win, as a first pitch fastball misses the outside corner for ball 1-1-0. For the Doubledays, a right-hander has started to get loose in the bullpen. Andrew Isdale has started to throw as the 1-0 fastball, breaking ball, is in there for a called strike, a 1 ball and 1 strike. Nothing happening in the Pioneer bullpen, as it's still going to be Zach Nelson's ball, as a fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike. It's now 2-1. Blaze Fadio 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the 3rd inning. Danieluk takes a look in. Stang sets out on the outside corner. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Foul tip into the glove of Bobby for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Jake Danieluk. Twirling a little good music here. And there's 1 away, and that will bring up Brody Bartenstein. 1 away, strikeout victim in Bartenstein as well, 0 for 1. Infield for the Doubledays playing straight up with Riley Brody playing deep in the second base hole. Here comes the first pitch, breaking ball missing upstairs for ball 1-0. We're used to seeing an aggressive Elmira offense, but aggressiveness has definitely taken a back seat so far this evening, as the 0-1 fastball. That one just misses low for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Dark gray sky still looming over Falcon Park. Looks like the rain has started to lighten up just a little bit, as the puddles don't look like they're growing any more in size. 2-0 pitch on the way, sent in the air out to left field. Christian Malillo moving in. Harrison Campy retreating away as Christian calls off his shortstop. And there's 2 away here in the top half of the 6th inning. I'll bring up Matt Granado in top half 6th inning. 0 for 2, couple of flyouts. He's been keeping Tommy Roldan busy, as Bobby Stang calls time. He heads out to the mound to have a quick conversation. How do you want to attack the 3rd time through the order is the real question. And then the other one is, how long will Ben Julian let his left-hander go for? That's a pretty good pitch count so far in this one, as here comes Ben Julian out to the mound, as he wants a conversation as well. And Andrew Isdale looks like he's ready to go in the bullpen, and never mind, that's going to be all for Jake Danieluk. He pitched excellent here this evening. He'll escape 5 2/3 innings pitch, and he'll hand it off to the Doubledays bullpen. Gets a hug from Ben Julian for making his way off the field, crossing the line, getting a nice little standing ovation from the crowd here inside Falcon Park. We'll give you the details next. Coming up, Andrew Isdale taking the baseball for the Doubledays. It is 5-0 with 2 outs here in the 6th.
pitching for the Doubledays, Andrew Isdale.
And that will do it for Jake Danieluk. He pitched really well so far. 5 2/3 innings pitch, gave up 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts as he hands the ball off to the hard-throwing right-hander, Andrew Isdale. 10-13 ERA so far on the season. 5 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 of those were earned. 5 walks as a first pitch swinging ground ball over to third base. Carson Gross, low throw, but not dug out by Garrett Prosper at first. And a throwing error by Carson Gross, unable to be dug out by his first baseman. And it looks like the Doubledays were just going to get right out of the inning instead. A throwing error, second error so far this season for Carson. And I'll bring up John Schroeder, the left fielder. Well, it was looking like that was going to be one of the easiest outings for Andrew Isdale, just 1 pitch, and it was looking like it was going to be a quick one. Instead, the inning has been extended on the Doubleday's second throwing error of the ball game, as a fastball catches the knees for a called strike at 86. We've seen Isdale touch into the upper 8s and maybe nibble at those lower 9s. The Colorado native, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. Doubledays with a really good offensive show today. 5 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. For Elmira, no runs on 2 hits, no errors there. Granado takes his lead over at first base with good speed. Leaning back to the bag. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball, and that one sneaks on through for a base hit. Granado taking around second base, throws on the brakes. First and second with 2 away, and the Pioneers are not going down quietly here in the top half of the 6th inning. 2 on, 2 out. And that will bring up Cooper Smith, the right fielder, with a base hit already tonight. 3 hits so far now for Elmira entering into this ball game. Granado at second base, good speed with 9 stolen bases on the year so far. He has yet to be caught. A little bit shocked that he hasn't thought about stealing yet here, despite the big lead that the Doubledays have, as a first pitch breaking ball misses down low for a ball. Second and first, 2 away. Doubledays with a 5-run lead, but would really like to get out of this inning without any harm done. Danieluk pitched well. Wants to be rewarded. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, swinging a foul down the first base side into the crowd. And the count will even up at a ball and a strike. Good amount of kids playing catch down the left field line close towards the Doubledays bullpen in the family-free area, or excuse me, the family zone. Rain has subsided as all the umbrellas have been folded and put away. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, swing and a foul. Tardy sending it back into the crowd yet again. Ball and 2 strikes with 2 away. Granado, the runner, over at second base, and John Schroeder, the runner, at first base. Carson Gross, Harrison Campy, Riley Brody, and Garrett Prosper make up the infield. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way, swing and a foul back off the facade of the roof overhead. And that baseball finds its way back into the dugout. Isdale looking to retire this inning right where it is with runners on base. Big lead by Granado at second base. Campy works him back. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Good breaking ball, but a good take at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 on. 5-0 lead for Auburn here in the middle innings. The rain has been pushed away. Still gray skies loom. The 2-2 pitch on the way, swinging a foul down the right field line, out of play, and we'll try it again at 2-2. Isdale really racking up that heater now, seeing a high of the inning so far at 88. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Doubledays with a 5-run cushion, looking to keep it there. Staying sets up low and away. Isdale with a look at Granado. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball upstairs. Back door to second base. Not in time. Granado in safely at second with a dive. Now the count has rolled full, and the runners will have an advantage. They will take off early. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. First and second are the runners for Elmira. Isdale set. Here's the full count pitch on the way. Swing and a pop-up. In fair territory as Garrett Prosper makes his way in. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. The threat is retired. Andrew Isdale gets out of the jam, and that is it for the Pioneers. We now go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Doubledays still lead it 5-0. Well, Christian Molillo makes his way into the right-hand batter's box, and what a day it's been for him. Despite the strikeout in the 2nd inning, a 2-run home run sent down the right field line has given the Doubledays a 5-0 lead. That was back in the 4th inning. As, how about this, a little small ball action as he pulls back the bunt attempt, trying to catch Ray Hernandez down the third baseline napping. He's starting to move in onto the infield grass, or what would be the infield grass if we weren't on turf. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Swing and a line drive. That's going to split the alley. It's headed for Abner's alley into the left center field corner. Here goes Molillo. He's taking a turn. He wants 3. Here's the throw in. It's going to be cut off, and Christian Molillo's having himself an evening to remember. A leadoff double to begin things here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that will bring up Christian Bauman. An RBI opportunity for Bauman. Certainly on the year, he has had 11, second on the team in the category behind Bobby Stang with 11. Bobby Stang currently with 17, but the infield has been moved in, at least the corners, with Hernandez and Muzio as a first pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 1-0. Well, for Molillo over at third base, that is his 2nd triple of the summer. Little pause. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball. That one catches the edge for a called strikeout, 1-1. Well, it's been a good evening for offense, if that's what you tuned in for. Pitching side as well for the Doubledays, it's been quite nice to watch, as well as a good breaking ball sent foul behind the plate, and we'll try it now at a ball and 2 strikes. Bauman 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, looking to avoid the hat trick. 1 ball, 2 strikes, corners in with the middle back. Shifted to the pull side. Here comes the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt, and a tag is applied. 1 away as Bauman set down with a strikeout, 3rd time tonight. And that will bring up Carson Gross. Carson with a double back in the 4th inning, but he was left stranded at third base. Malillo just looking for anybody to just hit a nice little ground ball up the middle and bring in that runner at third. As the first pitch, breaking ball misses down low for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Little pause from Nelson. Comes set at the waist. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball floats below the knees for ball 2, 2-0. Might be one of the more slower breaking balls you'll see this summer at a 63 mile an hour, 12.6. Shortstop Blaze Fadio playing right up the middle for Gross. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs off the edge for ball 3, 3-0. And Riley Brody awaits on deck if it gets to him. I wouldn't mind seeing Carson on first base, see him get his wheels in motion. Malillo waits over at third base after the triple. Here's the 3-0 on the way in the dirt for ball 4. So Carson will make his way onto first base. That's his third walk of the summer so far. One away, still runners at the corners. That'll bring up Riley Brody. Brody with a walk his last time up. He was left stranded at second base as we now have some action making its way down the right field line into the visitor bullpen. Carson will have a healthy lead over at first base. Tied in the stolen base category with 4. There he goes. Pitch is taken low as he swipes second base with a headlong slide. So stolen base number 5 on the summer so far for Carson Gross. He now leads the Doubledays, as the infield will most likely now be playing more in. As never mind, they're still playing back except for the runners on the corners. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Brody as that one runs inside on the hands for ball 2, 2-0. Riley aligned out back to the second baseman in the in the third inning, and then a walk back in the fourth. Nelson paused from the waist. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Big looping breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 3, 3-0. And 6 straight balls delivered from the right-hander Nelson, and I'm sure Riley will just have his bat stay right there on the shoulder. Here comes the 3-0 pitch on the way. That fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike, 3-1. Top of the order, and Harrison Campy awaits on deck. A right-hander has gotten loose in the bullpen for Elmira. Long pause. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. Fastball upstairs for ball 4. So Zach Nelson has walked the bases loaded, and here comes the top of the order for the Doubledays. That will bring up Harrison Campion. Harrison's had a pretty good day so far. A walk in the 4th inning, chased the starter in Connor Lutz. A base hit and a run scored in the 3rd, and then a fly out to lead off the bottom half of the 1st inning. 1 away, bases packed. For Campy so far this year, this is his first official at-bat with the bases loaded. Christian Malillo over at third. Carson Gross at second. Riley Brody aboard at first base. How about the speed aboard? Campy at the dish. Zach Nelson, long pause. Here's the first pitch. Big looping 12-6. Catches the knees for a called strike, 0-1. Campy's single back in the 3rd inning was a base hit off the end of the bat that rolled in the right center. Nelson, the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swing, line drive right to the shortstop in Blaze Fadio. A toss over to Aiden Blake, and the Doubledays have the bases loaded but are doubled up to retire the side. Back third of this one getting underway. We now go to the 7th. The Doubledays still leading 5-0. Auburn had the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 6th inning, but were turned away on an inning-ending line-out double play. It was a tough break for Harrison Campy and company. As the Doubledays still have a 5-run cushion here to begin the 7th inning. Meat of the order, Frank Wayman will lead things off. He is 0 for 2, a strikeout and then ground out into a inning-ending 4-6-3 double play. As Andrew Isdale's back out on the rubber, and a first pitch fastball runs right up the chute for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Falcon Park being turf has quite a bit of luxury items as a fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Well, Falcon Park can drain pretty much as good as any other turf field, maybe better. In an hour, it can drain about 4 gallons of water as a fastball swing and a miss on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Frank Wayman. Well, the turf that is laid down outside Falcon Park, the same patterns and the exact same turfus as a 1-2 pitch, is a fastball missing outside for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the playing surface on Leo Pickney Field at Falcon Park is the same exact turf that you can find of our friends up north in Toronto. The Toronto Blue Jays at the Rogers Center as a fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Andrew Isdale retires. Frank Wayman looking, and there's 1 away for Aiden Blake. First strikeout of the ballgame so far for Isdale. And I'll bring up the second baseman. Well, Falcon Park being the same exact turf as the Rogers Center has a little bit of a different feature, though, than Rogers Center does, as a good hook catches the inside for a called strike, 0-1. Well, you see the different lines outlined on the field of play. You have the yellow lines representing the soccer fields that get played on, as the 0-1 fastball sent back to the screen, foul. And we'll try it at now 0-2. Some blue lines representing lacrosse fields, big sport out here on the East Coast. We don't see it out west that much. Starting to grow a little bit more year by year. And then there also is a small softball field as you move closer to the outfield, as a 0-2 fastball runs above the hands for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you can just squint your eyes just slightly, about 40 or 50 paces in front of A.J. Wenrich, you can see a little bit what looks to be a batter's box as a breaking ball. That one just misses off the edge for ball 2, 2-2. But you have the batter's box representing with home plate. You have a pitching circle for softball. Cayuga College softball plays out here as a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andrew Isdale, walking around the circle. 2 away, and that will bring up Joe Muzio. Plenty of sports are utilized here inside Falcon Park with the lines. Baseball, obviously, the primary, used by both the Doubledays and by the Cayuga College baseball team. Here's the first pitch. Fastball runs up and away for ball 1, 1-0. Well, Kevin Dolan and company, along with Cooper Polkovich and Will Coleman, have all played on this diamond back in their high school days, as a 1-0 fastball gets a swing and a miss. And the count will even up at 1-1 with Isdale on the mound. Kevin was really excited to talk about the many games that had been played on this high school field, as the 1-1 catches the edge for a called strike, 1-2. High school playoff games certainly have been the big feature of the memories that have been made out here. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs off the edge for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes at 87. Doubledays as well right now being the prime residents in the summer months. But Cayuga College takes ownership during the winter months as a line drive is stung into the right center field gap. That ball is going to roll all the way to the wall. Wenrich to cut it off and into second base. Standing with a double, Joe Muzio, his second hit of the game. And the Doubledays now have to attend to a runner at second base with 2 away, and that will bring up the extra hitter, Jake Keller. Well, Keller looking to get off the snide tonight. He is 0 for 2, a strikeout looking and a strikeout swinging. Isdale looking to hand out another hat trick. 5-0 our score here for the Doubledays. It has been a good offensive showing once again at home. First pitch, breaking ball, misses off the outside corner for ball 1-1-0. 8 hits on 5 runs scored, 2 errors for the Doubledays. 4 hits, no runs, no errors for Elmira. Fastball runs upstairs. It gets a swinging strike from Keller, the extra hitter. Count will even up at a ball and a strike. Auburn with a right-hander starting to loosen up in the bullpen. Can't really get a good look at who it is. Pioneers have a right-hander warming up in their bullpen as well. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball taken at the knees, taken for a ball. The throw to second base on a back door. And back in with a dive is Joe Muzio. 2 balls and a strike as that one misses just below the knees. Bobby Stang, that's his second time we've seen him try and snap a runner back door. Harrison Campy has been quite active at short, hanging out in the back pockets of the runners just like he is now. Backs away. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a pop-up on the infield. Harrison Campy calling everybody off, moving in, makes the catch, and the Doubledays escape trouble, leaving a runner stranded on second. Shutout baseball still intact. It's 5-0 as we roll to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Stretch time here inside Falcon Park. Well, a familiar face has taken the mound here inside Falcon Park as Michael Zordoni taking another opportunity here to pitch here inside Falcon Park, as the last time he was here, it was not a great outing for him. He went an inning, gave up 6 runs. 5 of those were earned, walked 3, and didn't strike out any, as he's got a tough batter to face first as Tommy Roldan steps in as a first pitch fastball runs inside for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Tommy, double, a walk, and then a tapper back to the mound with the bases loaded. And they were able, Pioneers that is, were able to get out of the inning with a swinging bunt as a fastball, maybe a slider actually, runs off the inside corner, gets Roldan's back foot to swipe back. 2 balls and no strikes to the Virginia commit. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way as that fastball, ooh, that one just catches the outside corner for a called strike now at 2-1. Great offensive showing tonight for the Doubleday so far. 5 runs. Could have easily had a couple of more on the scoreboard as Roldan just a little tardy, sending a foul ball down the third baseline and into the crowd. The kids start running for a baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Zordani back out on the mound. 7 in the third innings pitch so far. 8 hits, 3 runs. Or excuse me, that was for Nelson Statline as a ground ball is sent. Fair, foul, we don't know. It's foul, says Ray Bryant, the home plate umpire. That's a little cue shot off the end of the bat. It just started trickling down the first base line and it just crossed foul before hitting the bag. Zordani, he has not pitched in a ball game since that game in Auburn. That was all the way back on Sunday, June the 4th. My goodness, that feels like so long ago. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way to Roldan, swinging a little tapper over to second base. Moving over glove side is Aiden Blake. He sends a throw over to first base to retire Roldan. 1 away, and that will bring up Hazel Martinez.
Now batting the extra hitter, number 29, Hazel Martinez.
Zardani only played in that one game, gave up 3 hits, 6 runs. As we mentioned, 5 of those were earned. He walked 3, didn't strike out any. Gave up 2 doubles in that ball game. As a whole pitching staff, the Pioneers have given up 16 doubles so far as a fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike 0-1. That number is certainly charged up as that was what the number was entering into this ball game. Fastball runs off the outside corner for ball 1, 1 the count. Martinez waits. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way in the dirt for ball 2, 2-1 now. Well, Hazel having a day so far. Couple of doubles, 3 RBIs driven in so far as a fastball runs upstairs above the hands for ball 3, 3-1 the count. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. Went foul down the third base side, out of play. Count will run full to 3-2. Plenty of action inside the PGCBL. Zordani delivers the 3-2 pitch on the way to Martinez. Taken down low for ball 4. So Martinez, his first walk of the ball game. Walk number 7 on the season so far. And that will bring up the catcher, Bobby Stang. My goodness, as we take a look at the scoreboards here around the league, the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, well, we don't have to see these guys, but they beat the Enoda Outlaws 22-7. That game was an hour and 52 minutes, and it was over quick in 5. Jamestown Tarp Skunks took down the Niagara Power 5-2. We'll see Niagara tomorrow for a doubleheader as the first pitch misses inside for ball 1, 1-0. And the rest of these games that are still going on, Boonesville Lumberjacks taking down, or excuse me, currently leading the Watertown Rapids in 7 innings as a line drive sent foul down the third baseline. Ray Hernandez sprawled out in a Superman dive, just couldn't corral it in. And so the count will stay at a ball and a strike. Game 2 of the Enoda Outlaws versus the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. That is a 0-0 game in the top of the 3rd inning, so a little more competitive in Game 2 of that doubleheader. The Albany Dutchmen taking on the Glens Fall Dragons. Bottom of the 7-0 game as that line drive is sent foul yet again down the third baseline by Stang. Ball and 2 strikes with Martinez making his way back to the first base bag. Bottom of the 7th inning in Newark, the Batavia Muck Dogs currently seeing a 3-1 lead over the Pilots. And then here we are tonight in in Auburn with the Doubledays taking the Pioneers at a 5-0 lead as Bobby Stang sends one foul over our heads out into the crowd. A lot of good things to come here in the next couple of days for the Doubledays, especially if they find themselves in the win column. After a 500 start in the first 14 games of the year, looking to continue their winning ways as a foul ball sent back to the screen. As we mentioned, I've been breaking down the season in the first 5 games, really. The first 5 games went well for the Doubledays. The winner 3 out of 2. As Zadrani sends a fastball down the right field line. That's going to roll, and it's going to bang off the wall. Martinez in flight, getting the speed. Waving on is Ben Julian. He's going to throw on the brakes, but the throw to the plate is back, and they have Martinez in a hot box between third and home. The throw to home is in time. Hazel Martinez is cut down. Bobby Stang ends up at third base as Hazel Martinez is really slow to get up after trying to slide into home plate. Martinez, not the swiftest of runners as he was standing on first base. Bobby Stang hit that ball down the right field line, nowhere near Cooper Smith. Had to run a long way to get to it. It's another double, and the Doubledays would have had runners at second and third with 1 away. Instead, they have a runner at third with 2 outs now for Garrett Prosper. First hit of the ball game for Bobby Stang. That is double number 9, as that will lead the ball club yet again as a first pitch breaking ball caught on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Well, the air is slowly kind of taken out of the room after that as a line drive under the glove of the first baseman, Joe Muzio, into right field. So the Doubledays get that run back as Bobby Stang trots home. And Garrett Prosper with an RBI single. And it is now 6-0 Doubledays, as Bobby's telling A.J. Wenrich what the right-hander Michael Zordoni has to offer. As that will bring up Wenrich with a 1-for-3 night, a double and a run scored back in the 4th inning, and then a couple of pop-outs. For fifths at 2, but then the second 5 games did not go the Doubledays' way at all, as a 1-0 breaking ball misses down low for ball 2, 2-0. 1-4 the Doubledays went on that second 5 games, and certainly those double headers against the Batavia Muck Dogs, losing that 4-game series 3-1 certainly didn't help out. 2-0 pitch launched down the left field line, and it's hooking into the Doubledays bullpen. Look out to everybody down there as Michael Sills had to duck for cover. That baseball had his eyes. 2 balls and a strike. Wenrich already showing the pull power he has, hitting it halfway up the one group billboard out down the left field line. Prosper with a healthy lead at first base. 2-1 pitch on the way in the dirt, gets away. Prosper, he's going to get moving, and he's going to make it into second base with a slip and slide over to second. So it looks like that groin is healed up just fine with Prosper now in scoring position. As here comes the trainer out to talk with Ben Julian just to make sure that Garrett's all right at second base. Thumbs up from Prosper as Wenrich has a 3-1 count, a really good hitter's count here. Good lead over at second. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Wenrich in the dirt for ball 4. So a 2-out walk, and that will bring up Christian Melillo. Oh, Christian having a day so far. A triple his last time up, and then a 2-run home run. Back in the 4th inning. And he has just been red hot over the last couple of games. Just the confidence has been through the roof as a first pitch in the dirt gets away from the catcher, Bartenstein, and everyone moves up 90 feet. Prosper in at third, Wenrich in at second. And might as well just blow the door open while you can. Michael Sills has started to throw in the bullpen for the Doubledays. And another right-hander is back up and throwing in Elmira's bullpen, looking to avoid disaster with Melillo back up. 1 ball, no strike, 2 runners on. Here's the pitch on the way as that fastball catches the knees for a called strikeout, 1-1. Well, you're going to bet that this is going to be a happy group of guys once they see this one through till the end if this stays at where it is. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing, line drive, center field, sinking in and sinking down. Into scores Prosper. Here comes Wenrich. You can walk home. The Doubledays add 2 more. And it is a beautiful sight on offense from Christian Malillo. Now he is just a lone double away from the cycle. 3 runs come in. It is now 8-0 Doubledays, as Christian Bauman will dig in. A beautiful offensive production. The Doubledays are showing back up again. 11 hits, 8 runs, 2 errors as Bauman sends one into left field, but that one's just going to hang up for the left fielder, Dron Schroeder, and the Doubledays inning is retired. But 3 runs come across to score in the bottom of the 7th inning. We now move on to the 8th inning, as Ben Julian looks like he's out for another change over towards Ray Bryant, the home plate umpire. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Oh, when it rains, it pours here inside Falcon Park. Another 3 runs put up in the 7th inning. Crooked numbers all over the place. 8-0, top half of the inning, as Andrew Isdale's back out for another inning of work. He'll have the bottom of the order, Ray Hernandez, Blaise Fadio, and Brody Bartenstein due up. And this is exactly the response you were looking for Auburn after the tough loss on the road, as the first pitch swinging strike from Hernandez. Well, that game, if you remember back on Saturday, June 10th, it went into extra innings. The Doubledays went down 2 runs early, were able to bring 2 across the tide as a first pitch, as the 0-1 rather misses outside for ball 1-1-1. But it was an extra inning affair that the Doubledays just couldn't see through the end, as a fastball takes down low for ball 2-2-1. Well, in that ball game that ended in the Doubledays' loss, it was a sacrifice fly sent out to right field, and it certainly had its fair share of arguments afterwards, as Hernandez sends one foul down the third base side out into the picnic area. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ray Hernandez, the batter. Andrew Isdale back out for another inning of work, looking to bridge it between the 8th inning, and it looks like Michael Sills will have the 9th inning. If all goes according to plan. Here comes a 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs upstairs in tight for Hernandez, and the count runs full 3-2. Anyways, on that loss in Elmira, sacrifice fly sent out to right field, and it appeared that the runner at third could have left early, as a line drive sent right to Brody at second base. Right to the eyelids of Riley Brody. He didn't have to move at all. It's a beautiful line drive out here right to the second baseman, and there's one away, and that will bring up Blaise Fadio. Fadio 0 for 2, looking at a strikeout as the fastball swing and a miss. Isdale dotting the outside corner at 79 for a called strike, or swinging strike 1, excuse me. The runner did appear that he could have left early at third base. Ben Julian wanted to appeal as a 0-1 breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 1-1-1. And he was really barking at the umpires to just take a look at a review. Doubledays tried to appeal, and both umpires made it clear and certain that the runner did not leave early. As a 1-2 fastball, or rather a 1-1 fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike at 1-2. Series between the Pioneers and the Doubledays at 1-1 as a good slider catches the inside corner for a called strike 3 on Blaze Fadio, and the hat trick handed to him. And that will bring up Brody Bartenstein. Third strikeout of the evening for Andrew Isdale since coming into the bullpen back in the 6th inning. First pitch, fastball taken off the edge for a called strike, 0-1 on the catcher for Elmira. Good team game so far, both on the pitching side and the hitting side, as a ground ball sent foul, 0-2. Well, Isdale has the strikeout stuff, and we've seen it today so far. Has just been dealing since coming in. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Isdale set from the first base side. The pitch on the way, swing, and a foul ball sent down the first base line out of play. And we'll try it again at 0-2. Isdale comes set from the first base side. Stang sets on the outside corner. The 0-2 pitch, fastball runs up and in with a little limbo from Bartenstein trying to get out of the way. And we'll try it now at a ball and 2 strikes. The outfield for the Doubledays playing shallow. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, doesn't snap down like Isdale wanted it to. And so we'll even up the count at 2-2 with the top of the order awaiting on deck. Bobby sets up low. The 2-2 pitch on the way, swing and a jam shot on the infield. Carson Gross moving in. He makes the basket catch. And the Pioneers are retired 1-2-3 in the 8th inning. We go to the bottom half with the Doubledays leading 8-0. Oh, it's been an offensive clinic for the Doubledays here inside Falcon Park. An 8-0 Doubledays lead over the Pioneers. A nice little response after the tough loss back in Elmira a couple of weeks ago, as a new pitcher out on the mound for the Pioneers is the hard-throwing right-hander Kevin Serrano. Let's take you back to this ball game when the Doubledays scored their runs. We have to go back to the first inning. Tommy Roldan hit a double down the left field line. He was later scored on a double by Hazel Martinez. There's your first run. Then back in the third inning, after 2 quick outs by Connor Lutz, the pitcher, Harrison Campy was able to extend with a base hit. Tommy Roldan walked, and then it was Hazel Martinez once again with a 2-run double. And put 2 more runs in the third inning. And then in the fourth inning, A.J. Wenrich hit a double down the left field line off the wall. And then Christian Malillo hit his first home run inside Falcon Park, second of the year. Put one down the left field, rather the right field line. It's still probably rattling by the tennis courts. There was 2 runs in the fourth, and then off to the 7th inning. It was Bobby Stang who hit a double. Hazel Martinez was caught down at the plate. Barrett Prosper was able to bring him in on a 2-out RBI. A.J. Wenrich walked, and then it was a 2-run single by Christian Malillo again. Brought in 2 more runs, and that is where we're at 8-0 as Carson Gross steps in to face Serrano. Little tapper back out to the mound, and a high toss over to first base in time, and there's 1 away. I'll bring up Riley Brody in this one. Now he is looking for his first hit, still a couple of walks and a line out. Looking for his first hit as a Doubleday in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League season. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he had a couple of hits on Monday and then had one last night against the Syracuse Saltcats. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Ooh, look out. That fastball was pulled right through the wickets of Riley Brody. Fastball went right through the feet, and they didn't have much control on where that one was going. So 2 balls and no strikes as Brody's still lucky to have feeling in his feet still. The fastball was on a mission to go to the shoe tops. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way as, oh, look out. The bat goes flying into the Elmira dugout, as Brody was just way early on a changeup, as Kevin Serrano has a little bit of a hitch with his delivery. He kind of pulls up, pauses before delivering, and a fastball was thrown at the feet of Brody, and then a changeup fooled him dearly as he just lets go of the Louisville Slugger, and it was on a dead mission to find a body in the first base dugout. Luckily, everybody is all right, but that bat was just flying. So that's our first bat toss of the year, folks. We haven't had one yet this season by anybody. Last year, when down North Carolina, I had just one, so we're getting ours out of the way early as another changeup misses down low for ball 3, 3-1. I'm sure Riley's going to hear it from the third base dugout whenever he gets back in there. Here comes the 3-1 pitch on the way as that one misses for ball 4. So this time the bat gets thrown towards the Doubledays dugout in a more controlled manner. Third walk of the game for Riley, really getting that on-base percentage up. And that will send the top of the order back up with Harrison Campy, a Wofford commit. Harrison has been quite busy today from the leadoff spot, having guys aboard. First pitch, fastball runs into the other batter's box. A good stop by Bartonstein, the catcher, to corral it. 1 ball and no strikes to Campy. Well, the Doubledays are just in need of 2 runs in order to end this one in a mercy rule walk-off. Bottom of the 8th inning, up 8. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way to Serrano. Swing, line drive, and it's going to sink down, and sink in for a base hit. Brody having to get into second base, not in time. Harrison Campy with his second hit of the ball game on a sinking line drive into left field. Drawn Schroederer didn't know if he wanted to really make a charge on it. Instead, he decided to pull up, trap the baseball, and Brody caught in between first and second, saw the baseball down and hurried into second base and just got in ahead of a throw. The ball also tailed away from the second baseman, Blake. So now the winning run sits at first base, and, well, you bet that Tommy Roldan would want to be the guy to deliver. Harrison Campy with excellent speed aboard at first base as time is called. as Bartenstein and Serrano are both going to have some confirmation on what they want on the pitch call. Well, the game is a little different when you're in college versus when you get into the more professional leagues. As we're hearing some bangs come down the third base line out from the parking lot. Don't really know what that sound was, but they were quite loud. We're going to go with fireworks from the booth. Riley Brody aboard at second base. Harrison Campy at first. Here's the first pitch to roll on as a breaking ball catches the inside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Well, for Auburn, we're just looking for their second Mercy win of the season. The last one came against these very same Pioneers in their first appearance of the season. Breaking ball misses down low for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Very quiet night in terms of offense for Elmira, but a very packed house for the Doubledays. Breaking ball misses down low for ball 3, 3-1, as Benji Reese has grabbed a bat and he will be hitting for Bobby Stang. He would be due up next. Here comes the 3-1 pitch on the way to Roldan. In the dirt for ball 4. That is ball 4, as Roldan didn't know it was ball 4 either. We were making sure we got it up right in the booth. But now the winning run sits at second base as Benji Reese will check in with Ray Bryant, the home plate umpire. As Careless Whisper plays over the loudspeakers. Oh, excuse me, Benji Reese will take over for Hazel Martinez instead of Bobby Stang. Excuse me on that. So Reese with an opportunity to send these fans home happy as the first pitch, fastball runs upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned, Campy, good speed. He represents the Mercy Rule winning run at second base. The Doubledays were to see this through till the end, they would be 8-7 on the summer. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul back to the screen. And the count will even up at 1-1. Reese looking for his first pinch hit of the season so far. First time getting the call off the bench. Here comes the 1-1 from Serrano. That one misses up for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Now these Doubledays will take on the Elmira Pioneers over at Dunn Field on Sunday afternoon. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way. That one misses outside for ball 3, 3-1. Reese with a good hitter's count at 3-1. Let's see how big he'll expand his zone. Riley Brody aboard at third. Harrison Campy at second and Tommy Roldan at first base. Campy the golden run. Here comes the 3-1 pitch as that fastball misses for ball 4. Serrano with a little slam of the glove as Kevin Serrano very frustrated on the mound. Brody Bartenstein takes off the mask to have a conversation as well with Bryant. But now the golden run just sits 90 feet away at third. So an RBI walk from Benji Reese. As here comes Bobby Stang looking to finish this one off. First pitch runs to the backstop. Here comes Campy on to score. And just like that, the Doubledays take down the Elmira Pioneers with a Mercy Rule walk-off win on a wild pitch. Man, we have a lot of good things to go over as we will tee up We Are Family as it is another Doubledays victory. At home, they continue their winning ways. They are 4-1 over their last 5 games as the celebration win as they take their high fives in front of the mound. We'll have the happy totals with you coming up next here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. And the Doubledays stay victorious at home. It is a 10-0 victory over the Elmira Pioneers. Jake Danyluk is your winner at 1-1. Connor Lutz takes the loss. He is also 1-1 on the season. The Doubledays now victors 8-7 on the summer so far. They are 4-3 at home before they welcome the Niagara Power tomorrow for a doubleheader. And the Doubledays will hit the road against the Pioneers. And that will finish off our week of baseball. It's been a long one. But let's take a look at the offensive production, and there's a lot of good things to talk about. But your player of the game tonight, it was at first going to be a tough choice between Hazel Martinez, who had 2 doubles to begin the offensive showdown. But then you can't ignore a home run, a triple, and a base hit by Christian Malillo. That's right. He went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and the long ball down the right field line. He's your player of the game. As that does it for us here up in the booth. I'm Trevor Curl. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be on the air early at 4:30 to bring you doubleheader baseball. Firework night tomorrow, but your Doubledays are victorious 10-0 victors. We'll see you tomorrow evening.